Guys, welcome back to another episode of the Ike MMA podcast, and I'm joined in the studio by none other than Henry Herculeez Fadipe. How
Hey,
are
how's
you
it going,
feeling?
guys? I'm good.
Now, I'm sure I'm sure you're feeling ecstatic, especially after Saturday night at KSW in Poland.
Repeat?
That's what I'm sure you're feeling ecstatic after KSW 84 in Poland on Saturday night.
Yeah, it was a crazy, crazy night. All from the moment we landed in Poland, it was hectic.
No, please, tell me more about it because looking at your fight record, you achieved so much success in various areas of combat sports, particularly mixed martial arts and kickboxing. I think because you fought in
K1,
K1
yeah.
as well. Yes, I mean, well, first we're going back to KS, starting with KSW 84. Can you talk more about it? What was it like going into the fight itself, and just the walkout? Because the video of you holding that trophy in your hand, and then your partner standing and walking alongside you on your right hand side. I mean, I was like, this looks like a king walking out of the octagon. Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy from the moment we landed there. Where we were was this guy's hometown, and it wasn't like anything I've experienced before. Like they were, it was a nice place, but because I was fighting one of the homeboys, it was kind of very standoffish. A lot like
Mm.
walking into the shop, like people were like, oh, that's him, like fighting one of our guys. So there was that to deal with. Even at the weigh-ins, like there was like I walked out, it was silence, and it was a bit yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. I've heard of stories like that whereby if you are fighting someone on their own home turf, I think it's quite particular to a particular country and culture.
Mm.
If it's say like anywhere outside of the UK or the US, because those two countries are like so much ethnic groups and so much cultures are living there together. But any other country outside of that, they are very, very protective of their own. Even if they see that,
Yeah.
their own athlete has lost, they will still won't be too happy with the with the other person that won. So for me, that's no surprise. But
Yeah.
okay,
Like
but
this fight, normally after a fight, like I go in and mix it with the crowd, like sign some stuff or whatever. But after this one, we're like, yo, this we were straight out of there. Like,
wow. But there wasn't
yeah,
any
but it was a
oh,
nice experience though, regardless of
I
all that.
see.
Like it was amazing. Like,
No altercations,
but
no
nah,
people
none of
thought
that, none of that, none of that, none
okay,
of
oh
that.
good, good. So it's my first time speaking with you. I've seen you seen your interviews with other people in the mixed martial arts scene here in the UK and in Ireland, especially one you did with one of my former co-hosts. He runs a fantasy MMA podcast. So I think MMA in depth or so. I just can't remember the
Yeah,
title. Yes, David.
yeah, yeah.
Um, Starting from the beginning, can you just give like a brief breakdown of just your backstory and what got you interested in combat sports as a whole, and then from there going into mixed martial arts and then kickboxing?
The amount of times I've been asked this question.
So,
So like, um, so when it started off, like, it started off in school. I was bullied a lot. I was bullied a lot in school. When I first came to Ireland, like Ireland wasn't as interracial as it is now. Myself and my brother were the first black people in our high school, and we weren't taken to very lightly at the start. He was in fifth year. I was only starting first, and like they were just like these ruffians. I lived across from the school, starting trouble and like just picking on me for no reason, whatever. Like those times where I'd be like jumped on at the entrance to the school. The school principal has like having to drive me home and that kind of stuff. So like like fuck this, I'm gonna get I need to learn to defend myself. So I started karate. I started boxing, and I got really good at it. Um, I went to college. I was in college, and one of the guys that was in my class, my lecturer, came in with a big bottle of water, and I was asking him like, "Why did you keep drinking so much water?" And he told me he was can't wait for a fight. So like, what you mean? And we got to talking, and he introduced me to MMA, and I joined the college MMA team and started from there.
hmm, that's that's very interesting. Many people say that. I think it starts off with somebody kind of same sort what you just said, bullying, or somebody's giving you a hard time. And you think you
Yeah,
just had enough of this. You've got to find some way of defending yourself instead of running to the authorities all the time for protection or for help. I think from there you kind of grow a love and a passion for the activity, and it kind of becomes your hobby, and then it becomes
exactly.
from
That's
there
what
it
it
becomes
was.
your occupation.
Exactly. Like when I started, it was just self defense, and then I fell in love with it and got really good at it. Like what, I can actually do this for a living. And here we are.
Was there any, because there are, of course, the brutal elements to the sport, of course, the injuries you can sustain even during sparring, let alone the competitive side when you're in the cage or the ring. Um, were there any concerns from family or very close friends over your health or any potential injuries at all?
So let me tell you, so the first fight I managed to drag my mom to. So I had five amateur fights, and she came to my second professional fight. After a lot of convincing. She came, and during that fight, I got this scar. I got an elbow to the face and split my face open. I had to get 32 stitches.
Mm,
And that was the first and last show my mom came to. She's like, I don't know how, why the hell are you
wow.
doing this? But yeah, no, my mom, she supports me. She doesn't watch my fight until after she finds out
Uh,
what's happening.
okay. No, okay. Well, she's never felt that she has to like step in and just convince you maybe you should give this up. You're still young. There's other options for you out there. But this is definitely your
My mom
passion.
knows me better than that.
Mm. um, I look through your fight record, and of course, what stands out is the titles that you have under your belt. Again, not just in mixed martial arts, but in kickboxing. So it's in more than one place in combat sports. What would you say you owe such success to?
I'd say determination, I'm very motivated when I'm training, and my creativity. Creativity, like during the fight.
Going into a fight, and it's something that I heard from another interview that you did earlier. Um, you said that there was back and forth you were having with another opponent that you're going to be fighting in the upcoming fight, and I think he said something with regards to your family or daughter, and the question was going into that fight, what is it that kind of motivates you to kind of stop at nothing to come up with a win? Is it that if you're angry or if you're just feeling indifferent and
The
happy?
Van, you referring to the Van Staden fight?
Well, so there's quite a few interviews of yours I've watched, but I
I
think
think you're referring to the Van Staden fight. Yeah, he was the one who. That's the only fight I went into angry. Where I had the intention of like
ah,
doing damage and hurting that. Yeah,
really?
because he got too personal, and I took it. Yeah, that's I ripped his knee out. He was on crutches for like 11 months. So I was like, nah, nah.
You
So that
said
was
his knee when you heard it give way and tear, it sounded like a shirt ripping.
like a shit meal ripped.
Ah, but so normally you just go into a fight just happy and just with a clear, cool head.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say that going into a fight agitated or angry helps you stay.
No, 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 no.
Okay. All right. Tell me about the team that you're associated with. Is it I may have this wrong, team Fantom in Dublin?
Fantom, yeah, Fantom
Yes.
Dublin, yeah.
What is it like though? Because again, if you've been doing so well, they must have very good coaches there, very good corners, and even other upcoming athletes coming out of that gym who are have very good and high prospects.
Yeah. So like I've been in Ireland for 20 plus 21 years, and I trained in different gyms. I always sort of felt like an outsider in other gyms. Apart from when I go to train with you, like the gym I'm in now is a lot of Eastern Europeans, and I feel more welcome there,
Mm.
so to speak. Like my training partners are like Moldovans, Russians. My manager's Polish, so it's very, very mixed. And the guys there are tough. They all come from like sambo backgrounds, and like they're bred for this kind of stuff.
Mm.
And yeah, there's some upcoming guys, some really good guys in that gym. Yeah, keep eyes out for Phantom fighters.
No, I definitely will because I mean, again, if someone like yourself who has achieved so much, then that and you're associated with a team like a gym like this, then clearly there's something that they're doing right. They must have some really promising athletes coming out of there. Um, what plans, as in, do you have for the future? I mean, eventually, would you like to go and fight in the biggest scene or no? There's the obvious one, the UFC, Bellator, PFL, and Cage Warriors. I mean, are those the plans you have for the future, or do you still like the more domestic scene?
Uh, I fought on Cage Warriors. Cage Warriors, going to fight in Cage Warriors would be me taking a step backwards.
Oh,
Wouldn't
excuse
be,
me. Sorry.
wouldn't be a step forward. That's a step backwards for me. Where I am right now, I'm very happy. They look after the fighters a lot more better than most of the shows you just mentioned there. Yeah, so now at the moment, I'm happy where I am, and I'm looking for gold where I am.
Okay, no, no, that's very good. I'm very happy to hear that. Um, other younger fighters coming up through the ranks, likewise at your team at Team Fantom, as in other guys who are getting into combat sports. What advice could you give them, as in just think based on things you've learned as you come up through the ranks yourself?
Yeah, take your time. Take your time. Don't rush into anything. Don't let anyone rush you into anything. You know, take your time and enjoy the sport. You have like this sport, you have to enjoy it. Like you get the most out of it if when you enjoy it. If you're just pushing for whatever or trying to have your eyes thinking of money or trying to get whatever, nah, it doesn't. You won't get as far as you think you want to. Like just enjoy it and take your time.
Hmm. It's interesting you say the money aspect. Um, I don't mean to sound or to put you off or any of the listeners off. Um, the aspects of money doesn't attract you at all because what one of the things I've seen, even as someone who's just a mere podcaster or a fight fan, um, when as a fighter you've been making all the preparations for nutrition, training, fight camp, and everything you're supposed to do to prepare the best as much as you can for the upcoming fight, and then suddenly something happens, such as okay, you lose a fight, but for me, I think it's worse whereby the other opponent pulls out of the fight at the last minute.
Mm.
Um, I do find it quite annoying when that does happen. And then there's the money aspect because if you're paid financially, if you're looked after well financially sufficiently, then it kind of all those things are not in vain.
100%.
I thought you'd have something to say about that, about the money aspects.
Yeah, man. Like we don't get paid enough for the work we put into this. So if you're going into this thinking, oh, I'm gonna be black belt, I'm gonna win a couple of fights, and no, it doesn't work out. And there's a lot of supplementing to do, and like if you're lucky enough, you get on the stage where you have like support and you have like sponsors and that, then you'll be good. But especially at the start, it's gonna be difficult if money is if money is your motivation or if money is your goal. This is not the sport. This is not the sport you want to be doing.
Mm. And when, though it might be too soon to ask, is there any news of the next fight, your next opponent on the cards?
There's something big and interesting in the works. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to speak about it just yet, but there should be something interesting happening in September.
Okay.
That's all I can say about
You couldn't give away the at least the promoter, the promotion that's going to be host.
that.
Ah, okay, okay,
No, we're still in negotiation stages, but by the end of this week we should know what the story is.
sure. Okay, I look forward to seeing that. I look forward to seeing you in the cage again. Um, the next question is going to be, I'm not sure if I should ask you. If you don't feel comfortable with it, I can edit it out of the episode.
Okay.
There's the recent controversial comment made. It feels like we're kind of quickly swept on the carpet between Duplessis and Adesanya. Yeah, I'll just have a bit of a back and forth with people I know that in the mixed martial arts scene. in your
Yeah.
eyes, who is the true African king?
You know what's funny? When I was supposed to fight Drickus, it was advertised just as that. The it was meant to be, oh, who's the king of Africa, me or Drickus, and like all this bullshit, and now it's him and this. Man, Africa is a continent. We can have more than one king. Okay.
Yes, yes, yeah. I
Oh,
think
this king it is. They say in
no.
Ireland, you're the king of dog shite.
I
Oh
I
man,
think maybe the
clowning.
argument
Over them
many
a clowning.
I think maybe the argument people may be basing it more on race more than anything else between the two guys.
That's just ways
Maybe.
to sell tickets, man. That's just all
I
ways to
know.
sell tickets.
Okay,
It has
last
you guys all. It has all you guys listening, doesn't it? Everybody wants to know. Oh, who's this and who's that? That's cha-ching for the guys promoting it.
not just that, but I'm sure it helps to boost and generate hype. And
Of
an
course, yeah,
organization like the UFC, that's one of their main selling points now, not just
yeah,
the fight, but it's
exactly.
also the hype.
Yeah.
Um, any shout outs you want to give to anybody out there?
Big shout out to Drickus, the king of Africa. I'm just fucking around. Yeah, big shout out to my team, man. All the guys from Fantom, man. I love you guys. All my sponsors. You guys are all on my page. Big shout out to you, man, Ike, for doing this interview, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Um, KSW for the gold and the bullshit silvers over there. Yeah, I love you guys, man. So love.
Well, Henry, thank you so much for coming on. And guys, thank you for watching and listening. If you've watched or listened this far, you can catch the podcast here on YouTube and on the audio platforms of Spotify, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Henry, once again, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Take care.